Disclaimer, I'm not a pro at Decaying Winter. Welcome to another perk guide for Decaying Winter. Today we'll be going over a Resident Montaigne from R6 combined with Rampart from Apex Legends, the Zealot, who probably screams get behind me or just sitting behind a turret and letting everyone else do the work. We'll be going over the pros and cons, the ability, traits and equipment to use, and overall gameplay tips for the Zealot. Starting off with the Zealot's pros, we have increased resistances to damage, allowing us to take more damage from every source that you could think of, such as melee, guns, anything else you can think of that also requires damage. As well as a massive increase to our HP of 35 points, increasing our max HP to now 135. However, on the downside, we have to move slower due to moving this big ass equipment around. And finally, we have much slower heavy swing speed, making connecting those heavies just a bit harder to do, and the time just needs to be almost perfect. For our ability, we have the Aegis Void DS. Wow, remember those DSs back in like 2010 or something? Also known as basically the shield, but we'll call it the Aegis to make the Zealot feel more important, because I know the mains will scream at me. The Aegis has two basic functions, and we'll start with the first one, the stationary mode. When you press F, you place down a wall with a shield projector on top, and a turret in the middle. This will block all incoming fire from any kind of guns, and will gun down any kind of scav in close range with a turret attached. However, you can't pick it back up to move it around, you can't use the turret, and that blue sheen on top, yeah, it has a limit more HP before it breaks, but leaving your like head exposed. After about maybe like a minute or so of it being out, it will blink out of existence and recharge back to 100%. Another note though, if you press F while the turret shield is out, then it will blink back and recharge, so keep that in mind. However, the second mode is a movable and penetrable wall. If you hold F, you will bring the shield out right in front of you, guarding your entire front body. In this mode, all melee scavs trying to hit you will fail and be stunned as if you shoved them. Any gun scavs shooting you will block the damage, and you will only take a chip 1 HP. However, every time your shield does take a hit or block, the amount of time you will hold it out will decrease until it depletes, going back to recharge. And to tell how much time you have for both of them, there is a white box on top of the icon to tell you how long you have until it just blinks out of existence or can't be used anymore. What traits to run is entirely up to you at the end of the day, whether you want to just have fun, or you can just be a flawless Zealot, or maybe a tank for your team. Generally, if you want to be a flawless Zealot, pairing a Patient and Maniac will counter the negatives of the Zealot, with your third trait being whatever the heck you want. If you want to be a true tank, however, Tormented for extra XP, Dependable for even more reduced damage, and then you take Fearless or Survivor as your final option that will make you allowed to aggro more enemies if you need to, or take less damage. Now for me, I ran Tormented, Dependable, and Survivor, and it did work out fairly well, it's just I felt slow. Again, at the end of the day, it is up to you. Equipment is solely based on your choice, just don't pick ladders, maybe not tear gas either, but the choice is yours on that one, play around with them. I chose the Concertina Bomb because, personally, the barbed wire plus the turret, they'll just mow down scavs if they need to. Plus, the Concertina Bomb actually gives full-on bleeding. As well as damage, of course. As for general gameplay tips from the Zealot, this is where you can excel at being the teammate your team needs. Your shield is secretly versatile, and it's all in the right moment, what mode, and when you should actually use it. If you have a Kira or an EXE, for example, beginning of the waves like 1 to 3, coordinate with that team member that you'll aggro with the shield just by holding F, and they can just pick off all the kills to increase their value by a heck ton. If you're both confident enough, you can actually take that to go to wave 4 or 5. By that time though, it's probably most likely to switch to the stationary mode. Good positions are on the wall or in the corners of the red container. Just angle the turret a bit if you want to be your frontline turret, shield thing, whatever you want to call it. If you want to focus more on the back line though, more towards the left corner of the room is also viable. In terms of weapons that you should use, And melee is okay for early stages, maybe like a tier 2 or 3, especially if you want to ration gather. But using guns with the Zealot is probably like almost a dead give me. You are technically a support perk, so the support the team with the bullet fire. Your melee isn't going to help you out well towards the later stages, even like then. So guns like pistols can help bring your support to another whole level, allow the turret to focus on more targets. So guns you should craft is probably the KSG or AKM if you'd like, or even the high kappa if you also want to go that route. Remember to siphon the ammo though, and scrap the gun if you can, and make more to get more ammo in the long run. You just get profit at that point. Crafting melees, honestly, don't do that. It's not gonna help you as well as other perks. Since a lot of crafting melees have special quirks with heavies like the EXE, or just benefit from high heavy swings. High heavy melee swings, or just light fast swings, just in general. As another note, if a teammate is being swarmed and your ability is 100%, don't actually be afraid to take the aggro. It's best to take it for them to heal, to take you, because you take chipped health from the hits, and you can actually let them heal so they can actually help you again. Generally, the Zealot is a support perk. It takes a lot of knowledge to when to use that ability and actually what form you want. That does take a lot of time with a perk and game sense as well, and that's something I actually can't give you. It has to come with time. But with time, I know you'll be more efficient with the shield.